JBN, we keep you informed. Mobe crash kills 1, injures 4. A motor vehicle crash yesterday morning in Montego Bay, St. James, along Barnett Street resulted in the death of 1 and the injury of 4. The Road Safety Unit, RSU, in the Ministry of Transport and Mining is reporting. Following the incident, RSU Director Canute Hare renewed calls for the public to shape up on the roads. Drive for your family. Drive for your loved ones. Most of all, drive for your country, Hare pleaded, noting that none of the 5 individuals in the vehicle were wearing seatbelts. We expressed condolences to the families of all the 28 persons who have been killed already since the start of this year. We express condolences to the family of that person who died this morning, the RSU director said. Join the road safety trade. Join the road safety battle. Play your part to override, overrule, disrupt, and block indiscipline on the road network. Don't be part of it, he added. I beg of you, let us all try for February to have 0 road death. Because you see the rate at which we are going now, we are heading back to 438. Here said 28 people have been killed so far this year due to road crashes. This is only 2 less than the figure for the same period in 2019. Suspect in 8-year-old's murder arrested in Trelawney. The Trelawney police have said they arrested the man known as Philip Rose, who is wanted in connection with the murder of an 8-year-old boy in St. Andrew in a dragnet along the Daniel Town Main Road in the parish yesterday. Rose also goes by the names Philip Williams, Rochester Rose, and Ochester Rose. The police acted upon information received and carried out a snap raid along a section of the Daniel Town Main Road, where the person of interest was held. Commanding officer in charge of Trelawney Superintendent Kirk Ricketts said, commending the swift action of his team. Rose was being sought in relation to the death of 8-year-old Galen Buchanan of Spanish Town Road in St. Andrew. The boy's body was found near Manley Meadows on Thursday. Reports by the Elliston Road Police saw that Rose shared a common law relationship with the boy's mother, which turned sour days before his murder. Relatives of the small boy reported him missing on Tuesday. After Rose visited the home, a search was launched for Galen and his body was found on Thursday. Rose had fled the community and was not heard from or seen until his arrest in Trelawney yesterday. Ammo seized. Person of interest held in Grand Spend operations. Operations by the Constant Spring Police in the Morgans Lane area of Grand Spend, St. Andrew on Friday, January 24, resulted in the reported seizure of several rounds of ammunition and the arrest of a person of interest. Police reports are that between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m., a joint police-military team searched several houses in the community. 1 AK-47 round was seized, while a man identified as a person of interest by detectives from the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offences and Child Abuse was held. His identity is being withheld. The police said 24 other people were also held for processing. Then about 3:45 p.m., another operation was conducted in the community. During the search of an abandoned building, the police said 29 12-gauge cartridges were seized. No one was arrested during this operation. Government considering performance-based pay for ministers. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government is considering performance-based pay for ministers as part of measures to transform the public sector. The Prime Minister made the disclosure while addressing the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation's General Staff meeting on Thursday at the Jamaica Conference Centre in downtown Kingston. He commended the country's permanent secretaries for agreeing to a performance-based pay system, which they did last December. We recognize that we have to have a mass implementation of performance-based systems in order to get the public sector to move much quicker in achieving the objectives of policy. And we intend to start this by introducing performance-based pay for permanent secretaries. We are contemplating how we do this for ministers as well, he said. The Prime Minister said that implementation of the system across the public service will be undertaken gradually so that individuals can see that it is working and buy into the concept. He noted that the system has to be well planned and structured, noting that job descriptions will have to be formulated for workers whose duties, roles, and responsibilities are not officially outlined. All these things are in train. They will happen. If we want to achieve growth, government has to make some serious decisions, he noted. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Holness noted that part of enhancing efficiency is putting underutilized state assets into the hands of the private sector, while the government focuses on its role to set policy, regulate, oversee, facilitate, and empower. To get growth, we must have full utilization of assets. And what has been demonstrated time and time again is that governments are not best at the full utilization of the assets. Countries that have done well have managed to divest much of their state-run agencies, he pointed out. So in the redistribution of state assets that is taking place, things that the private sector can do better, we're going to give it to the private sector to run, but we're going to improve our capacity to regulate, the Prime Minister said. Policetardiness affecting courts island-wide, says Sykes. Chief Justice Brian Sykes has said the tardiness, for which he rebuked the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF last week, is a problem affecting courts island-wide. Last Tuesday, just 2 days into the trial of 8 alleged members of the deadly Westmoreland-based Kings Valley gang, the Chief Justice, who is a trial judge, blasted the JCF after the absence of a key officer from the remote location from which the star prosecution witness testified via live video link forced a premature adjournment of the trial. I can't understand how the police keep the same level of inefficiency day in, day out, year in, year out. From I started working in the system, it has been the same issues every single day. They are late more often than not. The court hasn't moved, the places haven't moved, and they can't be in place. 30 years. And when I talk, people get upset. This does not require special genius. All it requires is common sense, Justice Sykes said at the time. This is really incompetence of the highest order. The date for trial has been set in excess of several months. This is not new. I've been sitting here for nearly 70 minutes now waiting for the police to be at the remote location. That is incompetence, not even inefficiency. So if the police force cannot, after 100 years, have a constable at a remote location, what else can they do? Justice Sykes questioned. This is incompetency. It is disrespectful and it shows the level of regard the police have for the Supreme Court, which is really none. We will see whether tomorrow they'll be ready, he said further. On Friday, the Chief Justice, after waiting for nearly an hour for the witnesses called by the prosecution to appear, made a similar observation. Are we going to do any work or are we going to sit here the whole day? I need to know what the position is. It is now 10 minutes to 11. We can't sit here waiting and waiting and waiting with no end in sight. No witness, none here to testify, not one. No court can operate like that. Something needs to happen. This is absolutely outrageous, he said. When I said what I said last week, persons were saying the Chief Justice shouldn't have said that. But here we are and not one police witness in sight, Sykes fumed further, noting that all of the witnesses to be called, only one appeared to be a civilian. The attorneys are here, defendants are here, lawyers are here, I am here, and nobody can say when or if they, the police witnesses, are going to appear. We can't be here waiting indefinitely. The matter was set down for weeks, went through case management. These attorneys cleared their diaries to be here, the Chief Justice pointed out. A senior prosecution with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, in providing the judge with an update, then said, I cannot say when they will arrive, but about 15 minutes ago I was told that the witnesses were on the toll road, said a far from pleased Justice Sykes. So in other words, we're just going to wait and wait and wait. Same occurrence last week. This is a recurring problem, and it is not just this court. It is happening across the island. At 10:58 a.m., a court officer indicated to prosecutors that the witnesses were in the parking lot. At 11:04 a.m., the first witness was called. The trial is set to resume at 10 a.m. on Monday. Montego Bay Mayor urges caution when using public Wi-Fi. Montego Bay's Mayor, Homer Davis, has urged citizens to exercise care to protect their identity when using the city's free public Wi-Fi service. The free internet service was made available in Sam Shop Square on Friday by the Universal Service Fund, USF. The Western City became the 8th public urban space to receive free public Wi-Fi under the USF's initiative. Halfway Tree, Emancipation Park, and downtown Kingston, all in the corporate area, as well as Maple and Clarendon, are some of the spaces that are already benefiting from free public Wi-Fi. It is my responsibility to ask that we use the service with due care and remember your digital footprints cannot be erased. and I therefore ask you all to be mindful of cybersecurity issues such as hacking, identity theft, cyberbullying, among others, Davis said at the USF's public Wi-Fi launch in Samshop Square on Friday. He said while he understands the excitement among Montegonians, they should exercise caution when using the internet on public platforms. In other words, please exercise due care and a sense of responsibility when you're online, Davis warned. I implore you to use these technologies to improve efficiency in how we develop services in healthcare, education, and even in government administration. Davis said the free public Wi-Fi will provide support to students as it provides another source of internet service to complete school assignments. This is an important tool for our students as they conduct research, write in school-based assessments, SBA, and generally pursue their educational goals, he said. Let us use this free Wi-Fi hotspot in a positive way as we all play our part in advancing a prosperous Jamaica and advancing the welfare of our country, Davis urged. Chang condemns hit-and-run attack on policeman. Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has condemned Thursday's incident in which a police constable was mowed down by a taxicab in the corporate area. The driver sped off after hitting the policeman and is yet to turn himself in, despite appeals from the constabulary. Expressing his sympathy and speedy recovery for the constable, Chang called the incident a senseless attack and an unfortunate reality faced by the police when motorists do not adhere to the road code or directives from the officers on duty. The policeman is to undergo surgery at the Kingston Public Hospital. Meanwhile, Chang has lauded the use of closed-circuit television, CCTV cameras, which captured the video footage used to identify the motor vehicle and led to his seizure. The CCTV cameras are linked to the state's Jamaica Eye initiative. Chang says the ministry will continue to appropriately train and supervise the responsible use of this technology in tandem with the nation's crime-fighting efforts. The police are encouraging anyone with information that can assist with the investigation into Thursday's incident to call 119 or contact the nearest police station. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.